evening, Internet. It is your host, Michael McGregor with Resiliency. So this week's episode of me yammering at the camera, I want to talk a little bit about food storage. Food storage has so many different aspects to it, and this particular one is the checkbox mentality. You know, sit there and I gotta have a year's food, got a year's food. Got 3 months, got 6 months, 9 months, got my year's food, check. Next, and you move on. And you don't start planning out, how are you gonna replenish that food? You gonna have a garden? Do you have a garden? Have you created a garden? Because once the balloon pops, if it ever does, when it does, soon as you pop that first lid off of your food storage, you've just set the timer to starvation. And it's something to think about. Now, on top of that, one of the biggest problems I see is I see people buying all these emergency food rations, anything from cases upon cases of MREs, my Patriot Supply, and I'm not knocking them. They have their uses, but if you go into your basement, your food storage, and all you have is wall-to-wall tubs of these freeze-dried foods, you're a prep tender. It's more prepper masturbation. Your food preps need to be in line with what I would like to call reality. In our grandparents' age, our parents' age, depending on how old you are, you had a working pantry. And that means basically you had 5 or 6 cans of tomato soup, and we had some tomato soup, we're going to use that tonight. Oh, we better put on the list, we need another can of tomato soup. This is also a way that you can actually build your food storage if you haven't even started yet. And if you haven't started yet, you better start. You're already behind. You're already behind the wheel. I'm sorry, you're behind it. That might not be the right saying, slogan, or whatever. When you go out, if you normally have tomato soup once a week, next time you go to the store, you normally buy 3 cans, let's say. Buy 5 cans, buy 2 extra, line them up in your pantry. So every time you go shopping, you add 1 to 2 extra cans to your shopping list for storage. And then continue to eat them the same way. Oh, we have tomato soup once a week. Go down next week, you buy your 5 cans again. Now you're building up a supply. Now you're building up extra storage, and it's not that expensive. That's how I did it. One time I actually take that back. One time I went down and I actually bought a year's worth of canned chicken. You might be freaking out about that. There's 52 weeks in a year. Oh, you see where I'm going with that. I have a can of tuna every week. That's 52 cans of tuna at $1 something a can. That's roughly, you say, well, let's say it's $2. Let's say it's $2 a can. What is that, $104 for a year's worth? Okay. It's not that hard to bulk up. And you can do it with, I personally, I don't buy Spam. I don't like Spam. I really don't like Spam. Canned chicken, canned roast beef, salmon, canned salmon, soups, lots of veggies, lots of fruits. You buy these extra cans and boxes upon boxes of pasta. Tomato meat sauce, make spaghetti. Not me personally, I don't like the red sauce on spaghetti. I don't. I'll make a deal with somebody. I'll trade eggs for fresh butter from a farmer down the street. We'll make our own damn butter. Powdered butter, you can buy Augustin Farms powdered butter. Hey, that should work. So the reason why I bring this up is so many people, they get their food storage and they put it on a shelf and they forget about it. And they act as if it's a monument. This is my shrine of food for my food storage. I shall never touch this until the balloon pops. Look at my food. Oh. And then 10 years goes down the road, you haven't done anything, and all of a sudden you're noticing cans are bulging and you're throwing away thousands of dollars worth of food that you built up over the last 5 years because you weren't rotating your stock. Okay? Think about this. Your food storage should be a revolving. It's a working pantry. Okay? Now, there's certain things, yes, I get it. I mean, I have my, 1,500 pounds worth of grains stored up, okay? That's the 4 grains, okay? That's the 4 grains that we've talked about. Okay, look for it. That's wheat, corn, beans, rice, okay? It breaks down to 750 pounds per person in your household. So in my household, we have a few people, and I base these calories. The math was done by a awesome individual, a brother, Bear Independent. He came up with this, the food, and it's basically for adult male. It's not my math. Don't, credit where credit is due. I'm not going to steal. Thou shalt not steal. Oh no, he said Bible stuff. Deal with it. So 750 pounds of grains per person. Now, that's not 750 pounds of rice, 750 pounds of beans. That's total. I eat a lot more rice than I do beans. So my rice poundage is a lot higher than my beans. I'm not a fan of corn. That's a lot lower than the wheat. So on and so forth. Also think about things like dried yeast, mylar sealing that, packing that up, that can last. I'm not too sure about how many years that dried yeast will last. Wheat, if done properly, rice and all that will last 25, 50 years. Put it in mylar bags, make sure you do it right. Rice does not need O2 absorbers. Rice is its own oxygen absorber. Keep that in mind. And I don't want to get into how we're going to do buckets and stuff like that. But with the grains, it's based on the calories needed for a military age male. My wife will never be a military age male, but I still plan that out according to, for her, that same mathematics. That gives us extra, because something most people don't take into consideration is when you're doing your food, when you're doing your year supply, save extra. You may have to feed other people. Other people may come along. Matter of fact, they will. And I'm not talking about people doing harm. There are people that you will add to your group, that you will take on. The one thing we like to say, basically, forsake not the widow and orphan. You gotta help. You gotta lend out help. You want to be, no one's gonna enter our group. Fine, be that way. You're not gonna find a lot of sympathy for that attitude from this channel. You're not. We're about reliance. We're about helping each other. If you come with ill intent in your heart, that's a different story. But I digress. Stop looking at your food storage as a monument. Use it. Create a revolving pantry. A working pantry, plain and simple, okay? Your food storage is not something you stock up and you never use. Use it. Food's expensive right now. I've used some of my food storage to save money. I hear people complaining all the time, how much food is, oh my God, it's so much. You got food stores? Use some of it. That's what it's there for. It's for emergency. What's an emergency? Higher prices. Oh, there's a blizzard. I can't get out today. Hey, let's have some of that stuff we stored up. And that's one reason why we don't constantly buy all these pre-packaged, look, if you want to spend thousands of extra dollars, buy the Cadillac. I'm okay with saving money. I like money. I don't want to just throw it away to some company that's overcharging for food that really doesn't have that great of a calorie content anyways. When you really break it down, it's a marketing thing. You bought into it. Get your canned stuff revolving, okay? Just because it doesn't store for 25 or 50 years doesn't mean it's not practical. You start doing your year storage, you recycle it, you buy more. Hey, you'll always have a year's worth of food, but it's always being replenished and always being fresh. Something to think about. Stop being a box checker with your preparedness. Actually think about it. Think how our ancestors, how our family members during the Great Depression did things. Okay? So that box checker mentality, it's got to stop within the prepper world. It really does. Okay, so that's all I really wanted to say about food storage. Actually use it so you don't end up throwing a year's worth of food away because it actually spoiled. Think about it. Okay, this is Michael McGregor with Wyco Resiliency. As always, watch your six. Till next time. Till next time. Knife hand. Peace.